oldest son is a first grade at an elementary school, and this last year has been a rather interesting one with a lot of ups and downs. We had a baby, we bought a house, we moved, and that created a lot of stress for him, and it manifested in some behavioral issues at school. We took him to see a pediatric psychologist, who then suggested giving him some more time outside doing the things that he loved, like painting. And that was done, partway through the year. After we tried some of those things that the psychologist suggested, we noticed that there was a difference. The more time he spent outside, the better able he was to focus and to do the things that he needed to while he was trying to concentrate and whatnot. But he was still continuing to have some issues at school, and the more I learned about what he did at school, the more concerned I became. I learned that he has one 15-minute recess, and now that includes time to line up to go outside and time to line up to come back in. So he doesn't really have all that time outside, and it may not even be a 15-minute slot for recess. Sometimes it could be up to 10 minutes, but again, that includes time to line up. And that's just not enough time for him to go outside and play and to come back to a place where he can concentrate and learn. And as a result, he's had some very difficult times trying to focus and do the things that he needs to do and stay on task. And that's when I started to do a lot of research about recess and some of the things that I could do as his parent to advocate more recess, not only for him, but for the other students there, because he's one of many children, and all children are similar in that they love to play. And that's what I'd like to do today is to help you understand and learn some of the benefits of having more recess time at school. First, let's talk about what recess is generally thought of. Like I said, in our school district, recess is a 10 to 15 minute period where children are able to go and do things outside. That includes time to line up and to go outside and inside, and then that's whatever's left over is time for them to play on a playground. So children, while at recess, will be more social. That's the time where they can role play. That's the time where they can spend time with friends. That's the time where they can be physically active. They can play, they can run, they can do whatever they want to. In an essay, or a blog, if you will, Angela Hascom, who's a pediatric occupational therapist, said that children absolutely need movement in all planes in order to develop a strong vestibular system, or a system of balance, which is critical in supporting every other sense in the body and turning the brain on to pay attention. This system needs to be working right in order for children to get organized, control their activity level, regulate their emotions, and to focus. From that makes complete sense when my son is outside and he's spinning and spinning and spinning, and then he calms down, he's running, he's jumping, he's jumping, he's jumping, he's using those things that his body needs to learn, or he needs to go to the maximum limit of his body so that he can learn what his limits are, and it helps him to be centered. Now in the same essay, Hascom talks about how this balancing of the vestibular system helps the kids to sit down and have the ability to focus on the task at hand. They're able to concentrate. Their brain is turned on because of the physical activity that they had participated in. And like I said, the spinning, it was interesting to learn about that. Now, as the kids build their relationships, there will be disagreements. There are going to be times where kids just will get in a fight, and that's okay. That's a time, this is the time where they need to learn that it's okay to be in a disagreement, and then learn how to resolve that disagreement with their peer. Becky Bowen, who is a speech language pathologist, mentions in an essay that she wrote that as parents or well-meaning adults, we're likely to step in and kind of disrupt that model of they're arguing, they'll come to a disagreement, they'll take a minute to calm down, and then they'll come back to it and resolve the issue. But as an adult, will step in and intervene, which teaches the children that when there is a conflict, there needs to be an adult to resolve the conflict. And that's just not teaching the kids what they need to learn, right? So they need that time outside, they need that time with each other, and recess is a perfect time to learn those kind of skills to resolve conflict. And it teaches them that it's okay. Conflict happens. We can resolve it ourselves. We don't need to go to an adult, because when they're adults, who are they going to go to? So that was kind of an interesting thought. And as they're working on getting those social connections going, they're building their relationships, and then are able to calm down. They've used their time to work on themselves, and then they're ready to come back into the classroom and concentrate on the academic part of it, which is a big part of recess as well. Reese, in an article called "The Crucial Role of Recess in School," it talks about some of the academic benefits of having a recess. It states, quote, "Recess serves as a necessary break from the rigors of concentrated academic challenges in the classroom. Recess is unique from and a complement to physical education, not a substitute for it." And then it says that the Academic Academy for Pediatrics believes that recess is a crucial and necessary component of a child's development, and as such, it should not be withheld for punitive or academic reasons. Recess is a big part of a children's life. It helps them play, it helps them build relationships, and it helps them come back to the classroom to learn. And so when recess is used as a punishment or a reward for doing good or having good behavior, it doesn't become necessarily a time for them to go and be themselves. It then becomes something, for some kids, it can be a little unattainable. And as I've stated earlier, it helps them to be able to come back in and focus. In another article, Angela Hanscom said that fidgeting is a real problem. It is a strong indicator that children are not getting enough movement throughout the day. And that goes back to that spinning and that jumping and the building relationships. Recess helps with all of that, and the children then come back in and are able to have their brains on and working and ready to take in, absorb that information from the materials within the classroom. So from that, they're learning more, and they're able to become better citizens and parts of the community. In closing, I just wanted to say that having recess outdoors and having more recess for the child helps them to build a better life for themselves further on down the road. I know it kind of sounds odd or a little different for some people, a little weird, but it truly does help. Nature helps kids in that it's just a way for them to release, and it's a place for them to be themselves. Recess gives them that opportunity. It helps them to find their voice, which makes for a much better future for us, for our children, and it all comes down to recess and how they are able to learn at school. So I hope from here you can do some more research on your own and help advocate recess at school, more recess outside, more time to spend with their peers. Thank you.